Boulevard all the way to Stadium Way, and southbound slowing off of the 5 out of Elysian Park. Heavy and slow all the way towards Manchester Avenue. Taking a look at the 5 southbound out of Burbank. That's backing up from just about Alameda. Delays in stretches. Yo! And it's tough on the 60 westbound. Even though a wreck is what up, niece? In industry. 60 west. My niece is in the house. Medusa, all lanes are open. Delays are still recovering, getting away from the 57.
Rapid radios are instant.
What up?
Walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off. Free UPS shipping and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Come to at KBLA Sharp 1580. We fight the power every day. Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey!
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they
Come on.
We get it. Yep, we get it too, Chuck
D. The keyboard isn't working. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yep. Oh, Lord.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight.
Here we go.
Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Ooh. Yeah. Hit that like button. Let's go. Soon as you get in here, hit the like button. Let's get it. Y'all ready? Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes.
The thing about narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths is their body language reveals a lot more than they might want to let on. Sociopaths and psychopaths in particular have to remind themselves to be human, be kind. They won't snuggle with you at night. You have to remind them. When I was dealing with somebody years ago who I now recognize as a psychopath, I gave them a hug, and I literally had to say, "Hug me back," because they were just standing there. They forgot for a second. And with covert narcissists, they will forget to have empathy. They're not going to instinctually do things that require empathy because they only have a logical understanding of empathy. So if you fall in the next room with a covert narcissist and you're screaming, they have to remind themselves, oh, I should help. They're not just going to instinctually jump up and help right away like somebody with empathy would. And sometimes they won't help at all if there's not other witnesses there or if they just don't feel like it. All that body language line stuff you can just chuck right out the window when it comes to a sociopath, psychopath, or a covert narcissist. They lie like they're ordering lunch. It's not like they won't make eye contact with you when they lie. They'll make too much eye contact with you to the point that you're like, nobody could stare someone in the face and lie. It's so convincing. But they do. Catching a psychopath or a sociopath off guard is really hard. Admittedly, I've tried to do it a lot during my career as a news reporter. Try to get them to truthfully answer one of the interview questions. And it's nearly impossible, but when you...
Andy, who is that lady?
Danielle Radin.
Danielle Radin? She's a journalist, I take it? Very interesting stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason has returned to the scene of the conversation. You already know what we do here. We have these difficult conversations because no one else will. That's all. No one else will have these conversations. And we have lived in relational la-la land long enough, which is why I like to keep my foot on the necks of the listeners. That's not nice to say. I don't want to keep my foot on your neck, but I do want to challenge you. You already know what it is, the voice of reason, the VOR. Zoe Williams, live from the heart of Leimert Park, as Dominique DePrima calls it, Little Africa Town. You know what it is, Los Angeles in the house. Let's talk about tonight's topic. It's going to hurt a lot of people because you've heard me talk about this before. Again, I'm in my local cigar lounge and we're having our cigars and deep conversations. And, you know, everybody's talking about your behavior says all I need to know. I know if you real based on how you show up. And as the journalist, Miss Radin, just explained, eloquently I may add, that it's really hard to catch someone who has been perfecting using their body language as their most effective communication tool. Tonight's topic, the behavioral mirage. Why good behavior often masks psychological scar tissue. Exploring the idea of why behavior may be the most sought after quality in intimate relationships, but on the other hand, can also be the most effective lie ever told. Let's break it down. I was raised in a temple where silence wore crowns, where emotions got jailed, but behavior got gowns. They said, act like you got it, but I've never felt seen. Just a boy confidently playing a role on a cognitive green screen. What if your calm is just covert distress? A glacier of grief wearing your Sunday's best. You call it compromise, I call it coerced. A stillness reversed, a volcano. This is deep, right? Y'all like, what is this, spoken word? Yeah. So tell me, is behavior divine or just the body's disguise? When it's too unsafe to shiver, to question, to allow yourself to finally rise. Trust, who's consistent? That's trauma's twin. The metronome beat of what should have been kin. Is it love or your limbic system chasing a ghost? Mimicking the parent who abandoned you the most. Control ain't character. It's choreography worn. A masquerade ball since the day we were born. You call it mature, I call it subdued. A virtue-shaped vice that we culturally glued. But what's well-behaved when the soul is in a cell? Is that grace or a glamour spell? I love how they make me feel, but is that devotion or co-regulation performed in slow motion? Are you in love with a face or a role they rehearse? Did you meet their essence or their trauma's verse? If your soulmate's a script, is your bond even true? Or just a synchronized trigger that's soothing you? If they never erupt, are they truly composed or just emotionally airbrushed, silently closed? You call it chemistry, but I see a trance, a tango of wounds in behavioral dance. Let's Socratic it, flip it, dismantle the shrine. Is good behavior timeless or tethered to time? A slave behaves to dodge the lash. A child conforms to avoid the crash. A partner smiles, not. Are y'all with it? Wounds Tango, they like my poetry. I love it. The chat room is in there. Love. Y'all feeling well? A child conforms to avoid the crash. A partner smiles to not be left. But inside they tremble, starved, bereft. If acting right means avoiding pain, then behavior's a ghost with a gold-plated chain. It ain't the truth, it's survival's suit. Truth lies where the body's mute. Ooh, you praise the regulated. I say it's aesthetic. They cry like sonnets, but can't touch the frenetic. If someone's composed, is that your soul or sedation? Or trauma trimmed down for polite presentation? What if your version of safe and wise is just trauma in formal wear, tailored to size? Your emotionally safe is just trauma that rhymes, a lullaby trapped in symmetrical lines. Yo, maturity ain't stoic freeze. It's the sacred mess of authentic release. Listen, the voice of reason is in here on the mic tonight. Where are my finger snaps? I need some Listen, I'm here to tell you guys. So many people think behavior is the end all be all. You got to show up this way. You got to be this way. You got to act this way. Listen, most people are doing just that. They're acting. They're not true. Why? Why so? Why so? Why are you so? People tell me you're a pessimist. People, listen. A lot of people perform, right, to conform, to keep their partners safe or close. They don't want to lose their partner, right? So they will act a certain way. And I'm here to tell you the most effective lie ever used is behavior. All I got to do is act right, and then you'll act right. And I know it's difficult for people to see that or even hear that. The behavioral mirage. Why good behavior often masks psychological scars. Your psychological insight here, people pleasing and over-functioning, often stem from fawn responses rooted in attachment trauma, not intimate goodness. Innate goodness. You remember I did that show and I said, are you really a nice person? Or are you performing nice? Using your behavior to convey nice. Your clinical insight here, as Babette Rothschild explains, freeze fawn states can produce hyper-control behavioral mimics. Behavioral mimics, yes. These mimics can mimic emotional availability, right? Your philosophical insight from Krishnamurti's lens. Conformity to social expectation is the death of authenticity. What behaves well often conforms best. Is this you in your intimate relationship? Are you putting your best behavior forward? Ooh, Lord, metaphysical insight. Dr. David R. Hawkins reminds us that behavior at lower levels of consciousness may appear moral, but they also may be motivated by guilt, fear, or pride. Sheesh. Lie by performance. Are you guilty of it? I'm not talking about, see, people think if I don't say a lie, I didn't lie. But what if you acted out a lie and been acting out a lie so that they won't fly away, so that they won't leave you, so that they won't abandon you? Can we be honest? Lie by performance. How our nervous system rehearses trust without feeling safe. Your psychological insight. Many emotionally regulated individuals are disassociative, not secure. Stillness often equates shutdown, not peace. Your clinical insight, polyvagal theory, shows that vagal shutdown can mimic calm, creating false signals of trustworthiness. Y'all thought Zoe made it up. Behavior is the most effective lie, especially if you're not good with your mouthpiece. Ooh, am I calling out men? We haven't been taught to really express ourselves authentically, raw, unedited. So what do? We use our performance as a means to communicate. Didn't I do that for you? Because I don't do that for everybody. Yeah, you should know that means, right? Your philosophical insight. If behavior is a mask, can we ever know the actor? Nietzsche would say, we are unknown to ourselves. Your spiritual insight or your metaphysical insight. Stillness without presence is not peace. It is merely a spiritual bypass. Real presence trembles before it stabilizes. The honesty illusion. Why we mistake familiar behavior for moral character. You've been programmed to accept a certain type of behavior as moral. Your psychological insight here. Attachment patterns condition us to associate familiar behavior such as intensity or avoidance with love. Does that mean they really love? No, they're performing it. Your clinical insight. As shown in betrayal trauma research, partners often misread compulsive behavior as commitment. Sartre's bad faith suggests we lie to ourselves first, so we may believe our behavior is virtuous. Man, the voice of reason is on complete fire tonight. Listen, I want to talk to y'all tonight. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Get to your phone lines. I'm ready to talk to y'all. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear.
1-800-920-1580. Call me.
Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, it's 40 people in here and only 18 likes. Hey, man, I had a ball on 5150. It was great. Junior 15, a.k.a. Pump Man 23. What up, what up, what up? Can I get everybody to hit the like button? Don't we have the bass from Love Jones? Andy, that's funny. Come on, everybody like that. Come on, that's right. 41 people, 20 likes. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Larry, that's what's going to get you blocked, man. I'm trying to tell you, don't. I ain't seen you, Larry. before. Just be careful, man. Our people are quick with the blockies. I'm trying to look out for you. Now, can I get everybody to hit that like button? Like it, like it, like it, like it, like it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yo, Black, thank you for the super chat, man. Savage. The man called me out within 5 minutes of talking to me, and he wasn't wrong. All love. Call out those who need it, brother. Peace. Wow. Okay, my bad. I didn't know I was calling you out. My bad. What up? What up? 20 more people, 19 people. Hit that like button. And listen, hey, what up, LS Jefferson? This is a caller-driven show, y'all. So don't be afraid to call in. Please know the difference. This is my YouTube. This is the behind-the-scenes YouTube. The radio show, however, if you call in, there's no cursing because this is terrestrial radio in Los Angeles, California. This is terrestrial radio in Los Angeles, California, so you can't curse on the radio. So don't get confused if you hear me talking reckless during the break. We're on a break right now. See?
A community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Here we go.
There exists a profound truth that has eluded mankind since the dawn of consciousness. The future you so desperately fear has no reality beyond the thoughts you give it. While you stand anchored in this moment, your mind races forward, constructing elaborate fortresses against dangers that may never materialize. This division, this mental exile from the present, is the source of your greatest suffering and the thief of your most precious possession, the power of now. Consider carefully what happens when you dwell perpetually in the realm of tomorrow. Anxiety becomes your constant companion, whispering of what might be, what could go wrong, what others might think. Paralysis grips your will as you await perfect conditions that never arrive. Your energy, that divine force meant for creation and growth, is consumed by phantom battles against circumstances that exist only in your imagination. I have witnessed countless souls, vibrant with potential, who have withered while waiting. They polish plans instead of creating results. They rehearse conversations never spoken. They solve problems never faced. And in this waiting, precious moments slip through their fingers like sand. Moments that could have been vessels for joy, growth, and meaningful achievement. The tragedy is not merely in the time lost, but in the life unlived. For For while your body occupies the present, your spirit wanders the barren landscape of an imagined future, leaving you a stranger to your own existence. You become like a man dying of thirst while sleepwalking through a garden of fountains, unable to drink because your mind is fixed on distant mirages. Now, I ask you to look unflinchingly at your own life. How many days have you postponed your power, waiting for certainty that never comes? How often have you said, I will begin when I feel more prepared, or I will act when the path is clear? How many opportunities have passed while you stood frozen in the paralysis of analysis? The shame you feel in never starting, acknowledge it. The regret of talents unexpressed, face it squarely. The emptiness that comes from perpetual preparation without performance, let it speak its truth. Listen, man, the voice of reason is in here. I'm not going to play with you. You're not relationship ready if you refuse the individuation process. You are prone to lie to yourself and others, and you're prone to perform in relationship using your body language as your most effective communication tool. And what did we say early? You guys heard us earlier this year, many topics. We've mentioned this. People with insecure attachment styles have been conditioned since childhood to manipulate. They manipulate through word, act, and deed. Do you understand? In Jungian psychology, individuation is a lifelong process of integrating conscious and unconscious aspects of the personality to become a unique, whole individual. If you're broken, seeking your better half, you're only going to call in a mirror that reflects back to you your own brokenness. This individuation process, it involves recognizing one's own distinctiveness and potential, moving beyond societal expectations and ego-driven desires to align with oneself, their true self. This journey aims for self-realization and the development of a balanced, authentic being. We find ourselves in relationships. The problem is we don't find our whole self because we are self-avoidant to a great degree. We don't want to bring or acknowledge, well, we can't help but bring this part of ourselves to the relationship, but we don't want to acknowledge the broken part, the repressed part, the suppressed part, the hidden part, the part that we are not proud of. Trust actions. Nah, not if they're staged. Not if they're filtered, trauma encaged. What if the action's a weapon, a shield, a polished mirage that trauma concealed? People want to show up doing a show. They in a showman's. They want to pop out and show you that they're worthy, instead of being worthy. When we come forward, the phone lines are going to continue to get ready to get going. Let's go. Where my people's at? It's a lot of people in here. Where y'all at? Y'all scared? Hey, put the number in there, 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. I want to talk to y'all. You guys are not talking to me. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? This topic is so needed because everything regarding relationship content is preventative and reactionary instead of based on inner work. I have not watched your podcast in months. Glad to see you're near 100,000 subscribers. Been there for a long time, man. They got us shadowed. It's all right.
Let's see. Already did. People also don't want or care for the process, which is imperative, and will miss countless lessons throughout the process. For sure, for sure, for sure. 1-800-920-1580. Somebody get in there. Who's calling? Okay, I'll keep going. Hey, somebody help Dex find out what this show is about. Can I get those likes up? 54 people, 37 likes. Do we have a bunch of... Who's in here right now? Who is in here right now? Where are my moderators? Can everybody say what's up? Where the moder... Hey, what up, Diamond Blue? I see you up in here. And I know somebody else busy cooking. We love it. Zodarius Speaks is crazy. That's bananas. What up? I'm staying on point. ADOS, Kansas City, Missouri, checking in. Brother was at the Foundry. Okay, Black Pepper, I appreciate that. All love. Thank you. Thank you. John Gilbreth II. What up, what up, what up? What up, everybody? Hey, we got more likes than people now. Now, are you guys understanding what's being said here? Are you guys tapped in? Oh, here we go. John Gilbreth.
about to co-host a little bit? You got to. You got to, just a little bit. Maybe not now, but later.
That can only exist when the perceiver is the perceived and acts, as we said. Then that flame, that compassion, that sense of holding the earth in your arms, as it were. If that is understood, and from that behavior, because that's the foundation. If there is no behavior in the sense of non-conflicting behavior, then after establishing that in ourselves or in observing it, we can proceed next to the question of death.
Krishnamurti, no, not conflicting behavior. Again, if you haven't totally accepted yourself as you are, embraced yourself, loved yourself deeply, right? You are in open revolt against yourself. And so you are subject to performing an act in your relationships, right? And oftentimes, based on attachment theory, if you have an insecure attachment style, the demands, they might be silent contracts. They might be under your spirit's breath. You must give me what my primary caregiver never gave to me. We become behavioral fundamentalists, right? These, bottom line, you gotta show up like this for me. And yet, the incongruity here, the incongruence, I should say, is you've never showed up for yourself. You've only demanded that others show up for you. Behavioral fundamentalism. How we replace truth with predictability. Why actions aren't always the truth. Sometimes they're signs of disassociation and behavior, trauma, and control. Your psychological insight here. We fetishize, right, consistency because it offers control, not connection. Predictability soothes, the inner child's chaos. I need to be able to rely on you. I need to be able to trust you. I need to know that you're going to be there. Right? Your clinical insight. Trauma survivors often confused regulated behavior with emotional safety, even when it's rooted in suppression. Your philosophical inauthenticity. Living in accordance with the they, das Man, not the self. That's what Heidegger called it. Your spiritual insight. True love begins when behavior is no longer a requirement for connection. The soul cannot be systematized. This reminds me of the great Krishnamurti, aka Krishnahurti, Uncle Hurti. He said, truth is a pathless land, and unconditional love is much like that. But we live in a society that basically says love must be performative in order for it to be authentic. We live in a society that says you must show up for me because my first experience with love was with someone that didn't always show up for me, aka my primary caregiver. So largely, most of our interactions are performative or showcases. Showcases of what we would look like if we were actually healed. And then we can't keep the performance up, and then relational entropy seeps in, and the relationship begins to break down into chaos. Can you read the behavioral lie? How we project wounds onto the behavior of others. Yikes. Here's your psychological insight. Most people read behavior through the lens of unresolved wounds, not objective reality. I'm sorry. People do it all the time. Have you seen somebody interpret you and your intent? It's almost like they think they're in your head. They think they understand why you do what you do, or why you are the way you are, and they interpret it from their lens, from their perspective. Most people are doing that. No one has ever just saw you for who you were and had no criticism, critique, or judgment for it. That's truly being seen. Oh, I know you don't want to hear it put that way. Most people read behavior through the lens of unresolved wounds, not objective reality. The clinical insight: misattunement in childhood distorts neuroception. Our internal radar for safety is miscalibrated. Do you see? The point of these shows is to say, if you don't have a solid handle on why you do what you do, right? The you behind the behavior, right? The you behind the car, the you behind the success, the you behind the money, the you behind the talent. If you're uncomfortable with that, relationship will never be a safe haven for you. It'll only be a place that will trigger this you've never got to know. Wow. In phenomenology, perception is always colored by intentionality. How you look determines what you see. Ooh, projection is spiritual amnesia. We forget we are the ones narrating what we see based on fear, not truth. Now apply that to religion. How many people, pastors, you see out there speaking for God? Huh? This is what God wants you to do. I know y'all not, you can't think for the incomprehensible. You can't speak for the unutterable. But it is your fear and your unhealed wounds that makes you think you can. Now, we said Joan of Arc was crazy because she wanted to keep going to war, didn't we? Somebody called Joan of Arc out and said, okay, ain't nobody else to kill, Joan. You still getting messages from God to keep these? Listen, the behavioral addiction, why we cling to surface over soul. Emotional intensity becomes addictive when it mirrors our early trauma template. As Patrick Carnes outlines, trauma bonding attaches us to the drama of behavior, not the depth of being. How many people know just how to be in a relationship? And I mean, be from a place of resonance. The me, like the you resonates. How many people know how to do that? How many people know how to tap into that resonance? The resonance of you. Nah, most of us got to do something to show ourselves approved. Eric Fromm argued, we prefer possession of traits over presence. Behavior is something we can possess. You cannot awaken by analyzing behavior. Awakening begins when we surrender the need to know and control. This is real relating right here. Now, you see, we got youngsters in the booth right now. They know tonight's conversation. Tonight's conversation, I've already said it. I said, listen, man, most relationship specialists out there are nothing but sociologists. They're teaching you what's happening in society and how to act and behave accordingly. If you really get into relationship work, you're getting into individuation work. You're getting into the spiritual curriculum that leads to self-realization, self-awareness, self-actualization, self-individuation. This is what the Buddhists called nirvana, moksha, the burning out of the ego. This is what real relationships are about, and this ain't easy work. And most people run from meaning because meaning doesn't always feel good. When I come forward, the voice of reason is going to continue to cook. You think I ain't got the ingredients to keep cooking? When niceness is a weapon, how socially rewarded behavior obscures your shadow work. When we come forward, we're going to get deeper. I don't know about y'all, but this shit cooking. Y'all scared to get on the phone tonight. I get it. Attila knew exactly where I was going. They scared tonight. I get it. Man, I want to thank Lloyd Hinton. I mean, Lloyd and John, man, and others. Always support, man, every night. I know that ain't an easy thing to do. I just want to thank you. We got our first Cash App from Lloyd Hinton. Can everybody shout out Lloyd? Can everybody shout out John Gilbreth? We appreciate it. That's all. I mean, we appreciate it. For people who appreciate and respect the work that we're putting in over here, I mean, fucking Attila did a bang up job on these clips. These clips are tapped in. Andy, you like that? You like that little remix, huh? That is fire, right? You see, I got little curveballs for you. Ah! Appreciate everybody that's here, that hit the like button, that shared, that subscribed. Nothing but love. Appreciate y'all. But y'all not talking about the topic. I want to hear from y'all. What's going on?
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gets you in blood.
I thought once I do my predestined earth work, I could go poof. You know, back to the surface.
conflict, and how they make friends years old to be safe. All of those three, well, we have something called the childhood development triangle. Maybe you could throw it up on the screen. What did I do to earn friends, earn rewards, and sometimes rewards are recognition. If you grew up in a really bad environment, sometimes the reward was water or food for a kid. And then the third is, what did I do to feel safe? And those little behaviors that we memorize at 8 or 9 years old, without us ever knowing, we carry that into adulthood. So I'm seeing childhood behaviors in every adult. And I'm seeing how they deal with conflict. That's what worked at 8 or 9. And I just say 8 or 9 is a random number, but in those formative developmental years.
I mean, is that our brother? Is that Ross Rossenberg? That's who it sounded like. Andy, who is that? You guys know I listen to the clips with you. This is my first time hearing it. Chase Hughes was on complete fire. And again, why is it important that we break all of this down? Because many of us go into relationships blind. Right? Blind, self-blind, and blind of the other. Blind to the other. Right? But what we do know definitively, right? And I'm saying from a visceral, experiential space is what this wound requires. Right? We know this wound wants an answer from this person. And if this person so happens to even give us a crumb of what we think this wound may want, then we begin to go into performance mode to try to secure that supply. This is why I've always said I don't believe that narcissists are the only people that, try to get supply from people. I also think they're mirror, which is the codependent, or what Ross Rossenberg called the self-love deficient, the SLD, or those who suffer from SLDD, self-love deficient disorder, which he saw as a type of addiction, right? People don't understand the roles of good parenting. When you miss an opportunity to really tap into the need of your child, you become inconsistent with their need. I think you create gaps. You create gaps, holes in their spirit, that if you don't go back to reattune or to kind of heal, they go out into the world with those holes. And they're looking for someone to fill them. Now, the great Quincy Jones told me, he said, man, listen, Zoe, man, so many people have holes, and you can't fill those holes from the outside, Telling you, man, many people don't know the melody of their own spirit, My Quincy Jones impersonation is terrible. However, he was right. You see, parents have such an important role. That's why no one should take that lightly. Can you imagine a broken child growing into a broken human being and then weaponize niceness? It happens all the time. Women experience the fake nice guy all the time, who then later gets upset when she doesn't capitulate to his demands after he's displayed so many niceties, right? He's taken you to the best dinner. He's pulled the chair out. He paid your rent. He bought you a cell phone. And then when he doesn't get what he wants, which is the intention behind the behavior. This is why I've always said to women, I've told my daughter this, hey, baby, it's not the behavior, it's the intent behind the behavior. But women have been conditioned to say behavior, or people have been conditioned to say behaviors speak louder than words. And I say, no, intentions speak louder than behaviors. And a man's intention connects with a woman's intuition. And if she's paying attention to her intuition, She can feel that although the behavior is expertly executed, his intent is off. Have you ever had somebody do everything right, but you still, ladies, I'm talking to you, but you still felt spiritually ajar, like something is misaligned, even though everything lined up performatively, like his actions? He didn't actually do anything to hurt you. However, his intent was concealed. When niceness is a weapon, how socially rewarded behavior obscures shadow. Nice behavior can mask covert aggression or suppression of authentic emotional expression. Covert narcissism often wears the mask of empathy and cooperation because it garners approval. Ladies, I know you've experienced this. As Jung said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. The nice persona is often an egoic strategy. Soul work requires confrontation, not comfort. How many of you been lying to yourself and accepting the performative lie from others? When we come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. I hope you guys are enjoying. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Dirty foot sandals is crazy. Do we have ladies in the chat? Do we have ladies in the chat? Put your hand up, ladies. Ladies, put your hands up. Can I see the ladies in the chat? Any hint of performance, I dip immediately. I'm trying to get y'all perspective. King Zoe, we here.
The voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble,
We tell each other to
as
be
your
real,
soulmate, become your soulmate.
but we're so
Does black
scared to be real
love still
person.
exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff? The child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How is that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to
get it.
ask you.
I don't like the kids. Is there something wrong with that?
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad touch routine. How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
So William,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
The fastest way to read a human being, number one way, is to keep one question in your head. It is, what does this person want me to feel about them, and what do they want me to notice?
Ooh.
Number one. So what do they want me to notice about them? And that's going to show you the beginnings of understanding the mask that people wear. Because everyone wears some kind of a mask, and I'm not talking about a COVID mask, but I'm talking about like a persona that I put onto the world. And the way that I teach this to military and government is the mask is made up of the things that this person built to conceal shame.
Mm.
To conceal, and shame is what we put on when we feel like we're not enough. Yeah, shame is, I shouldn't have done that. I'm a bad person for doing that. I need to hide it. Not agreeing with something in our past or something that we're ashamed of. And shame today is institutionalized. It's a public weapon to use shame. You can just log into Twitter and you'll see it in 30 seconds. You'll see how shame is being weaponized. So shame creates cognitive dissonance, which is a mental discomfort. Mental discomfort says, I don't want to be this uncomfortable in front of people. That creates a mask. So we wear these personas and these masks to cover up something. So if you see somebody, 90%, 99% of us have a mask. And this is the population of Earth. How thin it is, how thick it is, that's what changes and what the mask is made of. So if I'm seeing somebody who's acting like he's posturing all the time, he's yelling, he's like just puffing his chest out, the mask is usually the opposite of what it's concealing.
Ooh.
So I'm seeing a fearful little boy that's afraid of being hurt. A chihuahua. Yeah, I'm seeing a chihuahua that's barking, and if I bark enough, no one's going to hurt me. And that's what I'm really seeing there. That's what a mask is. And the second thing that I'm looking for is somebody's level of self-control every time. So what does their mask look like? What do they want me to believe? So when I was raising my kids, they were 7, 8, 9 years old. We'd pull up to a stoplight, and there'd be a car in front of us covered in bumper stickers. I would tell my son and my daughter, what do you think those bumper stickers are trying to say if they had a voice? And it would be like I did Yosemite, and there's a marathon thing, and like I go fishing, and like all kinds of crazy stuff. And my daughter, her name's Charlotte, she would go, I'm adventurous. And I said, all right, keep going, keep going. What does that mean to other people, though? It means that you can trust me. Okay, what else? It means I'm fun. Okay, what else? It means I'm a good friend. What else? I need friends. What does that mean? I'm lonely. And like, you see so much going on, and that's just one data point, and I'm not saying that that's what that means every time. But if you start going down this rabbit hole of understanding human behavior, the better you get at understanding humans, the more that you're going to see loneliness, shame, and suffering. It's every human being. So the way that I deal with loneliness, conceal shame, and kind of anesthetize myself from suffering equals human behavior.
Wow. Chase Hughes is out here with flamethrowers. But again, we got to get burnt up. Don't we, or should we aspire to be different, to be more, to reach our divine potential? And yet, the conditioning of we're not enough, we're basic, we're average, we're regular. The conditioning, we're shame-based beings, right? So we behave and perform in order to protect that shame, to keep that shame obfuscated. Do you see? And it's okay. Listen, I know these topics are not easy to digest. I know they trigger us. They trigger me. I'm with you. I'm not better. I'm not higher. I'm walking right with you. As flawed, or even more so flawed than the listener listening. The problem with us in this society, we always want to project perfection. We want to project we're over it. We want to project we've overcome. It's okay to be in the valley of one's soul, excavating the jewels that lie therein. We are shamed, right? We feel shame when we're in this dark space within our being. And so we always want to, present as I'm good, I'm straight, just like he explained. The aggressive guy, the machismo, and it is the inverse of the mask, right? It's the inverse of the shadow, actually. I love Dr. David R. Hawking's work and his map of consciousness, right? Shame is the lowest level of consciousness, representing a state of self-loathing and worthiness. Many people attach a worthiness wound to APs, according to Bowlby's and Ainsworth system of attachment styles. The AP is the anxious preoccupied, the performer child who is seeking acknowledgement from his primary caregiver so he can feel worthy. Well, then you have the dismissive avoidant who feels like I'm flawed internally because I want something that I reject. So something must be wrong with me. Right? There's a shame wound. So the AP has the worthiness wound. I'm going to chase you. I'm going to make it work so you'll see that I'm a good person. The DA, the dismissive avoidant, I'm going to pull away from that which I want because I'm conditioned to run away from it because it was misattuned when I was a child. Right? Then you have the fearful avoidant, which is the combination of both. Do you see? In Dr. David R. Hawking's work, Power versus Force, which is the book I keep telling people to get, the shame consciousness is characterized by feelings of humiliation and a sense of being irredeemable. Hawking's map is a logarithmic scale ranging from 20, which is shame, to 1,000, which is enlightenment. Right? With each level representing a qualitative shift in consciousness. Right? We're looking into shame. Shame is positioned at the very bottom of Dr. David R. Hawking's scale. It represents the lowest vibrational frequency and the most negativity. Individuals at this level of consciousness experience deep self-hatred, feelings of unworthiness, and a sense of being inherently flawed. Did we just explain? Here's the impact. Shame can lead to a distorted perception of oneself and others, fostering a sense of isolation and despair. It can also manifest as cruelty towards oneself and others. But there's hope. We can move beyond it. To move up the scale, one must acknowledge and process the feelings of shame rather than suppressing it. Hawkins suggests that courage is the threshold where growth begins and one can start to move beyond negativity. Now let's go deeper into that. One must acknowledge and process the feelings of shame. Now that sounds like a Herculean task. And for some, it is. But if I tell you what healing really is, healing is loving. And in order to heal, one must love oneself. But in order to love oneself, one must first accept oneself as they are. Not as the ideal, not as what I would be when I heal. No, me right now in this broken mess that I'm in. I love it. Not the mess, but I love me. Right? I accept me. I acknowledge me. I embrace me. I empathize with me. I am compassionate towards me. I am accepting towards me. And it's okay that I'm broken in certain areas of my, it's all right. I am going to matriculate through loving and accepting myself. When you do that, the quality of your relationships will change. And there are other lower levels of consciousness, but shame is at the bottom floor. This is the proverbial, you can't go any lower. The only place from here is to go up. That's shame. But if you're following the shame scale or the lower levels of consciousness, according to his Dr. David R. Hawkins' algorithmic grid here, right? The scale progresses upward, right? From shame to guilt. From guilt to apathy, from apathy to grief, and from grief to fear. Now, according to Dr. David R. Hawkins, the majority of the population is vibrating at fear. And we wonder why relationships are performative. I'm afraid I might lose something that could be the source of what I didn't get on a consistent basis in my early upbringing. My brother is on the line. I want to get him in here right now while we got him. John from Mountain View, Hawaii. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Greetings and blessings to all within the sound of my voice. Blessings to you, Zoe, for this topic.
Thank you, brother.
And yes, it is going to be a challenge to call in and tell the truth about the acts we all perform when it comes to virtually everything we do.
Come on.
Tell me at the job you don't want to choke somebody and you have to hold your...
It's true. Sometimes, yeah, it's true. I'm listening, brother.
Tell me the same actions don't take place in relationships. Because, ma'am, even though I may have it, it's not yours to have just yet. How about earning it?
Ooh, wait, whoa. Okay, you came to talk. Let me get out your way. Go ahead, brother.
Sir, if you really thought her only blessing was her body, you can't afford it anyway.
Ooh.
Even if you were a millionaire. But the bottom line is, if you can't express yourself in a relationship towards those things, how about facing yourself and telling yourself how much you actually hurt? Now, watch you tap dance. Where's the mask at? Somebody bring the sheet. Somebody cover me like James Brown at a concert. Why are we playing?
Why are we playing, John?
Why are we playing? Because it hurts. And we don't want to reveal the truth. But at the curiosity of knowing who you are, this is the test you have to pass.
Yes.
I'm not telling you to jump in the lava without the fire seat, but understand you won't get burned. Just saying.
Well, okay. But you know, like, this is a Herculean effort. This is not easy to go in and say, let me look at my behaviors. Are they genuine? Are they true? Do they represent the truth of who I am? Or is this the carrot, so to speak? I'm trying to dangle this carrot to get something back from the person that I'm behaving for. Talk to me.
Well, your behavior patterns have never gotten you the first prize award or trophy for anything, has it?
For some people, they've become exceedingly skilled at behaving in such a way that they can pretty much extrapolate whatever they want from anybody. Manipulators, users, gaslighters, these are all behaviors, man.
Indeed. But once again, after you done got the trophy, don't you feel like that's it? That's all?
So you saying sometimes you got to win so you can lose. Sometimes you got to
find yourself in an empty.
Yeah.
You find yourself in an empty place, needing and wanting more. So again, manipulators, taskmasters, the ones who got to play the game. Again, I was in the game. I call myself not being in the game, but after being burnt so many times, you come to a realization of acceptance.
Agreed.
Because one, you don't want to get burned no more, and that's playing the game. But you also know you have to go through the fire to discover yourself.
Right.
So do you get curious, searching for your soul?
No, I'm not going to let you off the hook. Are you telling me getting burnt is a spiritual rite of passage?
You said it on the last time we spoke, sir. Once the burning takes place, you are never the same.
Ooh.
But I also stated to you,
when it comes to rescuing those who need it, you may have to go through it again.
Interesting take. Interesting
I'm just
take.
saying my experience.
Yeah.
I'm just saying my experience, because again, yes, who was it? Who was quoted? What was that comedian's name? I cannot think of it, but his quote had something paraphrased to the point of, you could receive everything in this world and still be the emptiest human being, not needing any of that.
Right.
So what do you really want? What do you really want? Do you want what the world has to offer, or what your soul has to offer?
God, it should be what your soul has to offer, but guess what, man? Guess what you just did?
Brought Mountain View in the house, and I feel like lunch is coming up, so bless y'all.
I love you, brother. Love you. He brought Mountain View, Hawaii in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, you already know what you got to do. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. We want to talk about it. Get to me. Holla at me. And the playlist is crazy.
Relationships. Some strong talk. This is where we get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. Breaks down relationship dynamics with nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Jumping into questions you're afraid to ask. That's a risk you don't want to take.
Diamond Blue, you like the show?
That's a risk you don't want to take.
Diamond Blue, you like the show? Don't be spooked. Oh, because I'm checking. I was just seeing if somebody else hit the Cash App. I was going to shout them out, but no more Cash Apps. Don't be spooked, folks. Don't be scared.
The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in the individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, whipping, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a
Oh, you saying be brave, call in. No, I get it. They're not calling in tonight. This is too heavy.
To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on autopsy.
But I appreciate John. John called in. I appreciate John. He was like, no, I'm going to face.
This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I love this playlist, too.
Have you ever felt it, that silent ache behind the eyes, that sense that you are performing your life, wearing a mask so well you've forgotten the face beneath it? Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But what happens when the self you've built is just a shield made of fear today? We're diving deep into the space where your shadow lives, where your pain has a name, where your truth has been waiting, unseen. This isn't motivation. This is initiation, a guided descent into the soul, through the wisdom of Jung, the man who dared to face the darkness within and taught us that healing is not in pretending, but in remembering. You'll hear a voice today, one that echoes from the ancient unconscious, from the self beneath the ego, from the part of you that knows who you are, and is tired of waiting. If you've ever felt like something inside you is unfinished, unspoken, unreal, then this isn't just a video. It's a mirror, and what you're about to see may just change how you see yourself. If this is your first time here, welcome to Mental Dose, a space for deep inner work for soul. Truths for real voices. Subscribe now and take your seat, because what comes next is not entertainment, it's transformation. This is Jung's world. Your soul is the landscape, and now it's time to stop pretending. Fire, let's begin. Stop this pretending, this smile stitched together with fear, this confidence that cracks the moment you're alone. Enough. You're tired, aren't you? Tired of wearing a new mask every day. Tired of proving yourself to people who don't even know who they are. Tired of being everything except yourself. This image you keep trying to become, it isn't you. This performance, this I'm fine, you whisper through clenched teeth. It's just armor made of lies, and all because you're afraid. Afraid of the shadow you buried, the part of you that still aches, the fear, the shame, the scream caught in your throat since childhood. But listen, the shadow isn't here to destroy you. It's here to complete you. When you finally turn and face the darkness inside, when you stop running, a silence will come over you, not a silence that haunts, but one that holds you. There, in that holy dark, you will hear a voice. Faint at first, but real, and it will say, I was here the whole time, waiting for you. Confidence does not come from applause. It does not come from validation or victory. It comes when you fall and rise again with no spotlight, no crowd. Just you, and then you won't need to speak. Your silence will speak for you. Your eyes will say, I have walked through fire. I have died and returned, and now I am. That is enough. The courage to be real. The rebellion of removing the mask, the power of saying yes to the truth, no matter how naked, how inconvenient, how uncomfortable it may be. Remember this, you were never sent here to impress the world. You were sent here to face yourself, and in doing so you will become free. You see, we've been taught to climb, to rise, to conquer, to dominate, but no one teaches us how to descend, how to fall with grace, how to shatter and survive. Real transformation does not begin at the summit. It begins in the pit. It begins when everything you pretended to be burns away and you're left naked. No role, no applause, no mirror. That moment, terrifying as it may be, is holy, because in that moment you meet your real self, not the self made for others, but the one who remembers, the one who carries ancient pain, ancient wisdom, ancient fire. This is not about becoming perfect. This is about becoming whole. It is the union of light and shadow, the wedding of wound and wonder. And oh, how fierce you become when you stop hiding. When you embrace the wild grief, when you speak the words you were never allowed to say, when you cry without shame, laugh without apology, and walk without needing permission, then, my friend, you begin to return. Not to who you were, but to who you were always meant to be. That is the journey Jung spoke of, not one of escape, but of individuation, the sacred return to self, not the small self of ego, but the vast self, the one rooted in the collective, woven into myth, whispered in dreams, hidden in symbols. When you live from that place, you no longer chase confidence. You are confident. Still, quiet, unshakable, so stop reaching outward. Close your eyes, enter the cave, let the false burn, let the silence speak, and when it does,
Listen, you are not lost.
Hey, whoever that was, who was that? I know it was Young's work, but who was reading? That shit was fire. Because I be reflecting and it's hard. You know Uncle Zoe ain't gonna, I ain't gonna let you fall to the wayside, niece. You gonna be all right. Nelton, what up, bro? A dad and a pastor all in one is crazy. I just, be trying to mentor the young lady, that's all. Hakeem, Hanif, Salam, Hassan.
People seem to scroll more than they sweat. Well, it's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion, and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff
What do you
and
think of
puff.
tonight's topic? I'm staying on point.
During this time, it's important.
Glad to see you in here. I hope you're well. I hope you had a good day. I hope the meal that you cooked was nourishing and delicious.
Don't say a thing.
It's hurting feelings, but bringing awareness. Jambalaya? That's good. Jambalaya sounds delicious. Hey, that slap your mama. Turkey sausage? Dang. That sounds good. Don't that sound good? No pork? That's perfect. Jumbo shrimp is hilarious. Who got turkey sauce? Pick it up. Guess who's coming to dinner side of the game? That's funny. And still, this show has flown quickly. Look at it. It's 90 minutes in. And you know, once we get past this break, and the last little 9 minutes just be gone.
Ah, yes. Because comparing human emotional safety to an ant being eaten by a bird is definitely the philosophical depth we needed today. You're right, technically, no one's entitled to safety. But relationships aren't the animal kingdom. If your idea of love is every mammal for itself, maybe don't date. Humans are biologically wired for connection. Look up Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory. We literally regulate our nervous systems through safety cues in relationships: tone, facial expressions, voice. When those cues are off, the body flips into fight or flight. So if your truth always feels like a threat, congrats. You've hijacked the connection you claim to care about. Creating emotional safety isn't coddling. It's the foundation of any relationship that isn't just unresolved trauma delivered through sarcasm and Uber Eats. And no, it's not toxic positivity. It's just emotional maturity with boundaries, accountability, and a working prefrontal cortex.
Hey, Dog Man strikes again, man. And he's on point. Listen, every time I bring a topic, I'm trying to get you to see a different perspective. Please understand that. I'm not trying to get you to see a different truth, right? I'm not purporting that this is the truth. I'm saying, could it be true? Right? Could your wounds be the cataracts, the spiritual cataracts that you try to see through and interpret the world? Right? I'm just asking the question, right? The Socratic method is in full effect. Could people who haven't gotten on the individuation train, the healing train, right? Because healing isn't just time passing. People get that mistaken too, right? Healing is not time passing. You have to be doing something in the time that has passed in order for that time that has passed to have been put to good use, right? Imagine if you haven't talked to a person in 5 years and you talk to them, in 5 years later, and they're exactly the same person they were when you guys fell out, or you went your separate ways, right? I'm posing a question. Could unhealed, unindividuated people turn one of the greatest relationship qualities into one of the worst? Right? Because everybody's like, your behavior, you got to show up. This, behavior speaks louder than words. And typically, the way we look at one's behavior is really from a unidirectional, selfish lens. It's, I'm unhealed, but you got to show up for me like this in order for me to feel safe. And if I'm getting what I want, my tolerance for your unhealed nature raises, right? And then think about it this way: relationship as a rises, right? Relationship as a mirror. Think about it this way: most of our relationships are merely reenactments anyway, because we've been in runaway from self mode. We've been self-avoidant, right? So we'll run to the person and we'll wear that relationship out, and then we'll run to another relationship, and then we'll wear that person. And it's this ongoing cycle. The ultimate lie: behavior as evolutionary deception within intimate relationships. Behavior seldom signals truth. Behavior more often hides the truth. David Livingstone Smith's book, Why We Lie, roots deception deeply in our Stone Age past. Natural born mendacity, sculpted by evolutionary necessity, not moral failure. Homo thalax, not sapiens, would have fit better. Speech was given to man to disguise his thoughts, as Talleyrand put it. And Smith repeats this insight with elemental bruteness. Behavior then becomes camouflage. It originates not in authenticity, but in survival. The smile that greets you today may have evolved not from compassion, but from the ancestral need to belong, to avoid ostracism, to protect fragile status. The hand that reaches out may do so not from trust, but from nervous system strategy, right? In Smith's evolutionary account, human minds evolved powerful self-deceptive circuits so they could lie to themselves and thus lie more convincingly to others. See, the lie got to work on you first. in order for you to try it on others. A lie not tried on self hasn't been vetted. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Man, this is deep. Behavior as the ultimate lie. What if behavior operates as the species' most sophisticated illusion? Traumatized behavior often replicates earlier relational damage. But if you add Smith's insight, behavior also thrives on self-deception. Damn. The unconscious alignment, right, of internal mask and external performance. You act kindly to yourself. Believe you act kindly. And thus others believe you act kindly. The performance becomes its own reality, obscuring fragmentation behind domestic gestures. Behavior stops signaling the truth and begins creating its own believable fiction. General semantics, Alfred Korzybski, teaches that the map is not the territory. Behavior is merely a territory's signpost, not the territory itself. You see? I want you guys to understand there is a power in you, right, that transcends any idea that anyone has about you, any opinion that anyone has about you. Even your parents, the ones who broke your heart for the first time. There still yet remains a power in you that is in direct alignment with the source of everything. And yes, sometimes it's difficult to even know that. That's why this radio show exists. Sometimes you might need a mentor. Sometimes somebody has to drop a jewel on you for you to understand this is possible to achieve. This is possible to have. Right? Babette Rothschild's trauma-informed lens emphasizes autonomic nervous responses, freeze, flight, shutdown, that manifest as behavior. Right? But Smith, we're talking about David Livingstone Smith. Many years ago, I brought David onto the So What Morning Show to have him talk about this book. And his book is saying, no. The root of lying to others is rooted in lying to ourselves. There is something happened that made us say, this is one of the biggest lies, I'm a victim. I need this victim persona to be able to manipulate others without self-condemnation. Ooh, I know manipulating others is wrong, but if I'm a victim, I give myself a pass. Do you see? Smith adds, evolutionary weight. These patterns evolved not just to survive predators, but to survive social predators. We deceive each other and we deceive ourselves to do better. Ooh, I know you don't want to hear it put that way. To do better. So when you see composure, confidence, warmth, it may arise from a well-tuned social acting system and not emotional truth. When I come forward, I'm going back to the phone lines. We're going to talk about it. Let's get it. Crazy. Hey, Melanie, I want to say, Hey, Melanie, I want to say thank you. Melanie sent us a Cash App. We appreciate it. Listen, if you appreciate this show, if you think this show has meaning, merit, girth, worth, maybe not girth, please go to my Cash App. My Cash App is $Zoe What Netter. Everybody say shout out to Melanie. Thank you. We got 3 Cash Apps for this show. If you want to support the show, best way you know how, we call it Twos and Fews. $2, $3, $5, whatever you have to support, we'd appreciate it. Thank you. Don't derail the chat, Zoe. What am I derail? What happened? I'm sorry. What happened? What were y'all talking about? I'm like a lotus blooming in the mud. Come on. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was an accident. It just rhymed.
I would have to say one of the questions I probably get the most often from people all over the place is, Dr. Ramani, please, oh please tell us how to identify a narcissist as early as possible. What do I need to look for? What are the signs? What are the red flags? There's got to be tells that happen early so I can dodge this bullet. I've shared the easy ones that can be spotted. They don't listen. They look at their device instead of talking to you. They interrupt you when you talk with little regard for what you're saying, but would get mad if you did that to them. They become really reactive and angry when you give them any kind of feedback or criticism, or they act like an ass when they have to wait in line at a restaurant or their order takes too long. But even that's all the stuff I'm telling you. It can take a minute to show up. It's often not going to show up in the first 5 minutes, or you would run. But there is actually another way to detect narcissism early in the game, especially if you are already a survivor of narcissistic abuse. Very simply, pay attention to how you feel in your body. When you are in the presence of a narcissistic or invalidating or toxic person, remember, you will almost always feel a sense of discomfort in your body. For some people, it's a pit.
Hey, Dr. Ramani, listen. When it comes to this narcissism investigation breakdown, Dr. Ramani is Carmen Sandiego. She gonna find out where Waldo is. She gonna find him. Man, Dr. Ramani is one of the best in the game. We're going to get her on the show soon. Let's get it cracking. My final caller is on the line, Nelton from Houston, Texas. Nelton, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Talking about me again, I see this topic, man.
I'm talking about you. How? What did I do?
Man, look, so I just recently learned what toxic positivity was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And bro, when I tell you I've been operating in that most of my life, because again,
Wow.
I have to put on, make sure, I'm going to put together. I'm not hurt. Oh, that don't hurt me. I'm not mad. Man, come on. I was playing myself. And that's what led to my mental break that I told you about. I had to go get counseling back in like 2021 before I retired.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you talk about me, man, because I thought I was Superman for real.
Nah, and I get it, man. These are all adaptations for what was supposed to happen but didn't happen in early childhood. And don't blame yourself or beat yourself up because that was your survival strategy. But here's the thing, now that you become aware of it, because that's the key, self-awareness. When you become aware of it, then you can make changes. And I'm sure you've been doing that, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Like, when it's time for me to cry, I do so. When it's time for me to hurt, I sit in it. I don't judge it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't stay in it, you know. I got to give you a quick example. So, over this past weekend, this Saturday, the Big Three was in Houston, Texas. I had 4 seats. I was sitting right behind Patrick Beverly.
Come on.
And it wasn't the fact that I was sitting behind him. What enamored me was that I got to watch him be a father to his son right in front of me. Not the basketball players, though. The father, and I yearn to be with my baby, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sit in this pain a little bit, and then I'll get back to reality and enjoy the game. So that's just a quick example of how I've grown from just I'm cool, man. It don't bother me, whatever. So yeah, man, I'm about to
I love it.
work.
I love it, brother. Guess what you just did, my friend?
H-Town in the building.
Houston, Texas is up in here. I love it. So what if you let behavior dissolve? Would your heartbreak finally evolve? Could you love someone whose mask fell off? Who trembled? Who shattered? Who didn't play soft? Could you bear the raw, the misfit, the glitch? The truth, right? That don't pitch, don't pivot, don't switch. Your whole life built on scripted applause, but truth doesn't dance to applause's laws. If you unlaced your own disguise, would you cry or finally rise? Truth lives in the stutter, the fumble, the pause, in the grief that interrupts your applause. It ain't in the handshake, the bow, or the nod. It's when language collapses in front of God. It's in the slip, the quake, the messy refrain, where soul leaks out like ancestral rain. So drop the act. Let rupture sing. Only then can you meet the real thing. Listen, I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. I get up in here, man. I get up in here just to get you to think. I'm the VOR. I'm going to be here all week long. We got slappers galore. I hope you enjoyed it. I started it. You finish it. Let's go. Hey, yo, that flew, bro. Hey, that got up out of here with the quickness. That was a fire one.
It seems like it every day, my brother.
Come on, man. A little bit. It's one of them ones. But that's all right. I'm prepared. I'm prepared, bro. I'll see you tomorrow. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. We out.